Welcome, class. We have finally reached night vision number 8, Zechariah chapter 6, verses 1 through 15. Look at verse 1. Now I lifted up my eyes again and looked, and behold, 4 chariots were coming forth from between the 2 mountains, and the mountains were bronze mountains. What the prophet sees coming forth in this visions are 4 chariots emerging from between 2 bronze mountains. Chariots in the Old Testament are primarily a war machine. There are 4 chariots in this vision, symbolizing the worldwide extent of the travels of the chariots. Much has been made over the fact that the 2 mountains were bronze. It is said by some that the bronze represents divine judgment. Others suggest that because bronze was used by weapons, the bronze mountains represent the impregnable defenses of God's heavenly abode. No one really knows, since the meaning was not explained by the interpreting angel. The fact that the mountains are bronze rather than rock or dirt does, however, suggest a supernatural rather than a natural setting. Attached to the 4 chariots are 4 horses. Look at verse 2 and 3. With the first chariot were red horses, the second chariot black horses, with the third chariot white horses, and with the 4th chariot strong dappled horses. To each chariot there were attached horses of varying colors. The first chariot has red horses, second black horses, third white horses. The 4th chariot has dappled, which means spotted horses. One should note that the adjective strong near the end of verse 3 should be understood as being in opposition not only to dappled, but to white, black, and red as well. That is, all 4 horses are strong. The prophet asked the angel to interpret the vision. Look at verses 4 and 5. Then I spoke and said to the angel who was speaking with me, "What are these, my Lord?" The angel replied to me, These are the 4 spirits of heaven going forth and standing before the Lord of all the earth. In response to the prophet's question as to the identification and meaning of the horses and chariots, the interpreting angel said they were heavenly spirits. Eugene Merrill concludes that spirits is the proper translation of the Hebrew word ruah, based on the superhuman militaristic work the spirits must perform. We saw that back in chapter 4, verse 6. And because the spirits have just come from the presence of the Lord of all the earth. Thus, Zechariah 6:5 introduces the Lord's ministering spirits who serve as God's personal agents. Therefore, these spirits are angels. Furthermore, the noun translated spirits is plural. The spirit plural singular of God, that is the Holy Spirit, cannot be the focus then in this verse. The 4 spirits of heaven going forth declare the sovereign character of God. They are sent forth to reclaim all the earth for the suzerainty of the Lord. The result that also follows the splitting of the mountain in the day of the Lord. We see in chapter 14:9. And of course, that's in 14:9. We haven't got there yet. That is the Mount of Olives. All right. Look at verse 6. We see the chariots are sent forth, with one of which the black horses are going forth to the north country, and the white ones go forth after them, while the dappled ones go forth to the south country. Following Masoretic text reading closely, 3 chariots go forth of the 4. The black horses and chariot have passed the two mountains, make their way to the northland, followed by the white horses. The geography of Palestine being what it is, one must go north even to go to the northwest and northeast. Therefore, any nation that must be reached by going north from Palestine is in view. This would include Assyria, Babylon, and Persia. The dappled horses and chariot went the only other direction possible, to the south. This would include all the nations approachable from that direction. Therefore, all the nations of Africa and Arabia are included in this direction. All horses, except the red one, are accounted for in Zechariah 6:6. While this verse provides no information, one could suppose that the absence of the red horse is because it belongs to the commander, who is exempt from the actual task of securing the sovereign's kingdom. The historical divine judgment on Babylon. Look at verse number 7 and 8. When the strong ones went out, they were eager to go to patrol the earth. And he said, go patrol the earth. So they patrolled the earth. Then he cried out to me and spoke to me, saying, see, those who are going to the land of the north have appeased my wrath in the land of the north. Once the chariots have departed, the interpreting angel, describing all their horses as the strong ones, says they are about to patrol the earth, having received permission from the Lord to do so. The fact that the chariots had stood in attendance before the Lord would strongly suggest that it was he who authorized their mission. The phrase patrol the earth in verse 7 echoes the language found in chapter 1, verse 10, signifying the patrolling the earth in a military sense. Thus, the phrase is an expression of dominion. The Lord of all the earth is in process of bringing his domain under his sovereign sway, an assignment that he entrusts to the chariots and horses. There can be little doubt that Zechariah's vision pertains to his own times. This eighth vision very likely refers to the conquest of the Babylonians by the Persians, as well as other powers who are opposed to the Lord's covenant people. However, the apocalyptic character of the vision means the fulfillment cannot be limited to that era. Thus, the vision pictures a final and universal dominion of the Lord over his creation. Excuse